My dear students, today we will discuss paper 4 of the 4th semester PG course in English. This paper is all about the critical theories. In this paper we are going to study some important scholars and their essays which have changed the total critical approach of English literature. We had some traditional schools of thoughts which dominated the total literary scenario earlier. The school of thoughts like I. Richards, T.S. Eliot, and even before these two writers we had S.T. Coleridge, William Wordsworth, and the ideas like sublimity and beauty. But now we are in entirely a different scenario. We are in the post-colonial world of English literature. So some new school of thinking, ideas, now some different approaches of English literatures have become possible in the world of critical theories. So we will discuss one of the very important writers of modern critics, who is prescribed for the 4th semester of the PG course in English. Today our lecture will be on, the discussion will be on the writer who is basically from France. You know very well that we are studying just not the English literature as it was discussed and defined earlier. Now we are studying literatures in English, all that is written in English, irrespective of the country, time and space, that has been considered as the part of English literature. That's how some important writings from Germany, Sanskrit from India, some of the important Persian writers and thinkers and Commonwealth writers, American literature, took entry into this big world of English literature. Amongst all these developments, the contribution of French writers is very special. French movements, literary movements, painting, movements in the painting, movements related with peasantry, movements related with fine art, all these have made a serious influence on English literature. Consequently, the experimentalists of different disciplines of the life also are now the part of English literature. Amongst them, Roland is one of the important writers, a modern critic, through whose writings there came a great revolution, change in the English literature. Before entering the great contribution made by the field of great contribution made by Roland, let us try to understand briefly about his life and contribution, educational details, and some of the very important writings made by Roland. My dear students, as I just now mentioned, Roland is no doubt the French thinker. And his relation with the mystics of India was clearly mentioned his important writing like my masters. He wrote a very important book, My Master, on Sri Ramakrishna, and that's how the relation between India and the philosophy of Germany and France became intact. But before studying the writings of Roland, we have another very important writer who is also from France. He is one of the important essays from work to text is prescribed for the fourth semester. The name of the author is Roland Barthes. The spelling of the author is Roland, Roland. It's not Roland, it is Roland, and Barthes. It is not Barthes, it's Roland Barthes. So today we will try to understand the educational and literary contributions of Roland Barthes to the modern critical theories. I told just now that the contribution of the French movements to English literature, right from the Romantic movement, is constant and continuous. You know very well, three important slogans like equality, liberty, and fraternity. These were the greatest contribution of French Revolution to the world literature. So even after the French movement, the relation between British literature and the French school of thought is intact and constant. Amongst all these writers and the movements, the place of Roland Barthes is very important. Roland Gerard Barthes was a French literary theorist, essayist. He was a great essayist, a philosopher, a great critic, and semiotician. You know, the word semiotics is basically derived from linguistics. It's a very unique field of language studies where Roland Barthes made considerable contribution. Barthes' ideas explore a diverse range of fields. He is not confined to any particular school or particular area, and he influenced the development of many schools of theories. For example, including structuralism, semiotics, social theory, science, and design theory, anthropology, and the field of architecturalism, sculpturalism, are the various fields where Roland Barthes has made the great noticeable contribution. That's how his contribution to these all fields have become the unavoidable part of the total contribution or total idea of Roland Barthes. For your kind information, he was born in France on 12th of November 1915. Barthes' contribution, of course, all his ideas, whether ideas given to the field of structuralism, semiotics, theory, painting, all they are indebted to various other ideas of the world, irrespective of the barriers like East and West. He was born on 12th November 1915 and he died on 26th March 1980. It's a very unique period in the history of mankind. And he influenced the further tradition of writers and thinkers like Foucault, Michael Foucault, and Julia Kristeva, Susan Sontag, Gerard Gennet, and James Wood. These are all the young writers of the France who were highly influenced by ideas of Roland Barthes. He was looking very smart, very interesting fellow who has a great curiosity about the happenings around him or almost all the activities around him. Simultaneously, as we know very well that no individual is independent or segregated or isolated. Each individual personality is shaped by various other influences of contemporary period. Quite naturally, it's the most expected thing in case of writers like Roland Barthes. He kept his eyes always open, wide open to the world and the developments around it. So, consequently, he was influenced by Ferdinand de Saussure, one of the important earliest structuralists of the world, and Jacques Lacan and Claude Lévi-Strauss.